in the building, and we are talking about Jaime Mungia versus Jimmy Kelly. We talked about that fight a while ago, actually. So we're looking at what's next for Jaime Mungia. Okay, it's been about 2 weeks since Mungia stopped Jimmy Kelly. Jimmy Kelly put on a great performance himself. I believe this fight was either at 168 or a catchweight, somewhere in the super middleweight division. But Mungia kind of struggled with Kelly for the most part because Kelly was outboxing him until he hurt him in the fifth round, I believe it is, or fourth round, I can't remember which one, and put him down with the left hook, and that was it. All she wrote. He really poured it on Kelly, got him stopped. Now, what's next for Jaime Mungia? Mungia, after he won that fight, what Mungia did was he called out Jamal Charlo. It seems as though they had negotiations before to make the fight. And from what I learned from the Boxing Voice, it seems as though the networks, Showtime and DAZN, couldn't come to a deal where they could broadcast it. Probably they were looking at the money in the pot or something. I don't know what happened, but Oscar De La Hoya was saying that Al Heyman was the guy that kind of turned it down. But from what I hear, everybody agreed. But for some reason, the networks did not agree on who would broadcast or showcase the fight, or whether they split the viewership. I don't know what happened, but I don't know if they were crunching numbers and the numbers didn't come out right. I don't know what happened, but Mungia definitely wants Jamal Charlo. We know Jamal Charlo wants Jaime Mungia, so maybe this fight can happen because that's who Mungia called out. Now there's another person that threw himself into the mix that I wanted to just mention, and that's again the highly avoided Demetrius Andrade. He came up and he said, "What do I have to do, man? What do I have to do to get these kinds of fights?" He called out Jaime Mungia on Twitter, and they mentioned it on the Zone telecast as a possible opponent for Jaime Mungia. And this thing about Demetrius Andrade, whether it's 168 or it's 160, he's a cool customer to take that fight, and Jaime Mungia was a number one contender to Demetrius Andrade's WBO title. So, I mean, any which way you look at it, Mungia should be probably looking at Andrade because that's the fight that's right there for him. Mungia fights on DAZN, Andrade fights on DAZN. Matchroom is right there. But once again, we see like with my dude, Lonnie Thompson, ain't nobody quick to call out Andrade. Ain't nobody, and they're saying the money's not there. We all know the money's there. Okay? But as usual, they're not quick to call out Demetrius Andrade. So I just find that very interesting. And so those are two options for Jaime Mungia. If you can't get the Charlo fight, which to me is stupid to try and get the Charlo fight when Charlo don't even fight on your platform. That's why you had the problems, the difficulties with Showtime and DAZN. It's because Charlo don't fight on your platform. So you might as well go with Demetrius Andrade, and test your skills against him. Once again, I'm going to say this. I think the fighters these days are afraid of losing their undefeated status or just taking a loss. And I understand, because I even did a piece on Adrian Broner, who's fearless. He take on whoever. You can't say that Adrian Broner duck or dodge anybody. But even so, he's been getting a lot of bad flack for doing that. And it's so strange because when you look at Adrian Broner's resume, it's a crazy resume, right? So maybe fighters are taking note of that. Canelo stepped up and he faced Dimitri Bivol, who arguably to me is the best light heavyweight. I know what Lionel Thompson said. I know he sparred Bitabiev, but I still think that Bivol beats Bitabiev. I still think Canelo. Again, you have to look at the feet. Everything comes down to the feet. I mean, Bitabiev may throw hard and all of that, but we've seen, very, very hard throwers, very big punches We seen Pernell Whitaker handle those guys. We seen Floyd handle those guys. We seen guys like Mike McCallum handle those guys. So I don't believe that. Preparation. I believe preparation is the way how you handle those dudes. Okay. So while I understand that the first-hand experience, I do understand also that first-hand experience can warp a fighter from really seeing beyond the strength and power of a fighter and technique, and also another fighter who has a style that can thwart that. I just think Bivol has the style to do that, but we will see. I'm sure that fight will materialize not in the not too distant future, probably within the year. All right, so we're talking about Mungia. Mungia is a huge. He was a huge 154 pounder. He's a huge 160 pounder. Basically, you can bump him up. I believe they're testing the waters with him. So I think that him versus either one of those guys is great. Of course, he wants the Charlo fight because he thinks Charlo's more high profile, you know. And Charlo has faced some world champions and done some things. They've been drying out Andre for the longest while, though. So I would like to see Andre get some shine. But the nice thing about it is, Andre's putting his name in the mix in 160. I hope he goes up to 168 also. It puts his name in the mix with David Benavidez, because there are certain fights out there I think still can happen. It's not going to be as glorified. And one of them is David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. That's still there. Okay. Plant took his first loss against Canelo. You know, I thought Plant performed very well. I had him up on the cards when Canelo stopped him in the 11th round. And Caleb Plant, man, I would love to see that against David Benavidez. Again, contrary to popular opinion, I think Caleb Plant beats David Benavidez. I still think so. Nobody's convincing me otherwise. Skill paid the bills. I was trying to explain to Lionel Thompson that I think he has the style to beat Artur Beterbiev. You can't like Lionel Thompson said. You gotta box this dude. You gotta use movement. You gotta chip away at him. Like say, go to the body. You have to chip away at him. And I think that they talk about power and strength a lot, and that's cool. But I understand, but I always believe placement and timing and accuracy, trump those things, because you can catch a guy with a shot he wasn't looking for, and he might be strong, but it'll still buzz him, it'll still stun him, it'll still make him hesitate to come in, and that's the thing you need to have. Need to have good trap setting, good timing, and you could get these guys, man. And I know Beterbiev is a good tactical fighter. I've seen him in his early fights. I see how he sets up shots. I see how he sets up opponents. So I know he's cerebral and he's smart, and he's big and strong. But I know Usyk outboxed this dude many times in the amateurs. And I believe Bivol's on the level of a Usyk. I believe Bivol's on the level of I think he's a better fighter than Lomachenko, like I said before. And I think he controls range very, very well. He's not trying to put too much power in his punches, but just enough to keep you on the outside of his stick. And you can't just walk through a guy's stick. You know what I mean? And you know how to handle his stick very well. So I still honestly don't believe that Artur Beterbiev is going to walk through Bivol. I just don't see it. I saw him walk through Gvozdyk. I know that. But Bivol ain't Gvozdyk. Trust me, Bivol ain't Gvozdyk. He ain't going to panic, and he's cool. He's collect. He's going to establish range from the get-go, and it don't matter how much bombs you have or how strong you are. You ain't just walking through a stick. You can't just walk through a jab. Artur Beterbiev, he don't just walk through sticks and jabs. And I know he's rough and rugged on the inside, and he's very strong. I've seen what, I know what he is, but still at the same time, I know that, Beterbiev, people say he got skills and stuff, and he does, but I don't see him as a master boxer like Bivol, and I would like to see Bivol versus him. I got Bivol for the win, though. No matter what anybody says, when my eyes show me, I know I'm right. So I go with my eyes. Because sometimes when you spar people or you spar certain fighters, now if he had sparred both fighters, if Lano had sparred both fighters, Bivol and uh, 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 Beterbiev, I think that would have given us a much more clearer picture. But the fact that he sparred only Beterbiev, um, he gonna be biased towards Beterbiev. He knows what Beterbiev can do. But I think he could beat Beterbiev, and you just have to be a little stronger. And I think using that sticker move, I think you could do it. I also think that Bevo, who definitely has been fighting fighters at a higher level in the ring, I think he definitely he showed it against Jean Pascal. He showed it against what's that kid, that big strong guy, Sullivan Barrera. He's shown it against much bigger, much stronger guys than himself, that he could control those guys. So I completely believe that Bivol would beat Beterbiev. I truly believe that. And Beterbiev, don't get me wrong, Beterbiev is a cerebral fighter himself. You can tell that, but I just don't see how he's gonna get past that stick. I don't see how he's gonna close that distance. Bivol disciplines you and gets you to stay where you are. And even if he does close the distance and he starts to throw punches at Bivol, he rides, he rolls punches, and he blocks punches. That's what he do. So I don't really see Beterbiev really doing much to Bivol. And Bivol's actually a good counterpuncher on the inside too. He can catch and shoot and hurt you, and he's pinpoint accurate. He's not like Gvozdyk. Gvozdyk panicked, and he was burning himself out trying to, get Beterbiev under control. Bivol won't be that kind of fighter. And Bivol can, his pivot works very good, so he can pivot back to the center of the ring. He's not just going to get him up on the ropes just like that. And then again, he has respectable speed, Beterbiev, but he's not the fastest dude in the world either. So he don't have to worry about, how fast Beterbiev be coming at him. And then Beterbiev do short chopping shots, and that will work. That will work against guys who let you close the distance like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna try and find a way to turn around Bivol. Bivol's feet are just really, really good. So I don't see him I definitely don't see him running through Bivol. And two, I just don't see how he's gonna close that distance. The thing in this whole thing is to close the distance. He's gonna have to slip and slide. He's gonna have to bob and weave to try and get to the inside, because Bivol's gonna be facing him every time he try to find, circumvent him, go weak side, and try to find a port of entry. Bivol's gonna be right there, stand with the jab in front of his face. So I really don't know how he gonna. And Bivol's gotten stronger. He's gotten bigger. So I don't see how he's gonna just run through Bivol. I don't know what my brother be talking about there. They're just the tools that Bivol has neutralize the tools that Beterbiev has. I don't think Beterbiev is a better boxer than Canelo Alvarez. Mind you, he was moving pretty good on the outside. I don't think he's a better boxer than Canelo Alvarez. I don't think Joe Smith Jr. is a better boxer than anybody in that division. I just think he had will to win. He worked hard, and he got himself in the position to become world champion. What Beterbiev did to Joe Smith Jr., he would do to any flat-footed fighter. You know what I mean? You ain't pivoting, you ain't turning. He's turning you. He's always gonna get a position on you. You know what I'm saying? But with the case of a quality, top tier, top level amateur in Bivol, I just don't see him. I don't see him doing that to Bivol. He didn't do it to Usyk, and he sure as hell ain't doing it to Bivol. That's what I'm just gonna let y'all know. He's not doing that to Bivol. I can tell you that for now. But that was not what I was supposed to be talking about. I was talking about Charlo versus Mungia, or Andre versus Mungia. And in the scheme of things, I think that Mungia, he'll be moving up to 168 at some point. But as of now, it seems as though he's doing the Canelo thing. He's moving up in weight, dealing with bigger guys, and he's going to come back down in weight so he can dominate that weight class. Another possible opponent for Mungia, but this one, I don't know how realistic it is, would have been Triple G. But Triple G is going to be facing Canelo Alvarez. So we'll see what happens when it comes to Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G. We'll see what pans out with that. So when we're looking at the 160, 168, and the 175-pound divisions, to me they're the most exciting divisions. Um, the question is, could Canelo knock out Triple G? Can he get that KO? Because to be honest with you, Triple G be tough, and then on top of that, remember, Canelo's never stopped Triple G. Nobody's ever stopped Triple G. People have hurt Triple G, but they didn't stop him. You know what I mean? What would it take to stop Triple G? You got to hit him with a punch he didn't see. He's well conditioned. He's going to be in ridiculous condition for this fight, especially with that age on him. Maybe he takes a lot of shots, maybe he doesn't. I hope Canelo uses a better game plan where he's using his feet. Like Thompson said, Lonnie B. Canelo, if you up the pace of a fight, Canelo gets tired. I don't know what it is with Canelo, but he gets tired. So, that high-paced Bevo fight, he got tired. Mayweather constantly bringing the pressure, bringing the heat, changing up game plan, making you have to think. He got tired. Changing different rhythms, changing the pace of the fight, he got tired. So, I think those were mostly the fights that he got tired in when he was dealing with high caliber, high thinking. I think with the Triple G fight, he got tired in the middle rounds. So I'm just saying, Canelo need to get his cardio up when it comes to moving at a high pace. I don't know why that aspect of his game he don't have it really good, and he need to be able to control also the tempo and the pace of the fight by being first. And then we'll see if he could get Triple G out of there. He is going to be the bigger fighter. He's fought at higher weight classes in the pro with 10-ounce gloves. So we'll see what transpires with that fight. But he need to stop Triple G. He need to make a statement that Triple G is not on his level, and he had to show, like Timothy Bradley was saying, that he can't. So we have to see. I hope he's incorporated a trainer who understands the slick style of boxing, so he can get better. Canelo has fought at the 175-pound division. And I do believe that he is very capable of fighting in that division. I think he also beats Artur Beterbiev. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's boxing. It's not strongman contest for me. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys when it comes to Jaime Mungia, possible opponents. And we're gonna cover a couple other things in boxing. I got some other stuff to bring up to the table, so we're gonna talk about that in the next video. So I'm coming back to y'all with that one. So stay tuned. All right, man.